How y'all feeling? Everybody good? Yeah. Alright, my name is Ricky Randum Poet, also known as the Random Poet. I'll be your host for this evening. Welcome to Snaps and Taps Black Labor Edition. Clap it up, everybody, please, for yourselves and everybody else. You can snap it up, you can clap it up. One thing I'm gonna tell y'all though, it's not easy getting on stage. It's a very vulnerable space, so the same energy you give with us, we're gonna give it right back to y'all. So if you like the line, you can tell somebody to run it back, you can clap, you can shout, you can say whatever you feel in that moment. Just make sure you don't hurt yourself on stage because you're not liable for your injuries, that's all. But we're here to have a good time. It's a stress-free place, it's a safe space. So when you here, I want you to leave all the negativity back outside the doors. Leave it in the streets right now. Because when we here, it's a love, it's a cookout, it's a family vibe. It's always gonna be love when you come here and inspiration. So if y'all ready to say poetry. Poetry. All right, cool. As you can see, we have a dope piano back here. We're gonna start off with open mic, and then afterwards we'll get down to the nitty-gritty with our featured poet. So if you're excited, say let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna set it off if y'all don't mind. You know, sorry. No matter the number of people listening, the message remains the same. Wherever my feet is the stage. I am the Random Poet, but Ricky Mayweather is my actual name. I am an artist. I found opportunities within my insecurities. You may learn from my words that my poetry can stop your insecurities. I'm here to inspire, uplift, and motivate. My creativity is what I activate. Butterflies flood my stomach while I perform like a first date. I am me. A paradise without rain, a medication for your pain. My character creates a conference and teach confidence not to deal with nonsense. And I'm your favorite song on repeat. The crush you finally meet. I refuse to fail, I will never submit to defeat. I'm the slow jams you cling to when the pine saw on the floor meet. You see, I'm that first sip of ecstasy before you sip your coffee. The sun rises in the morning to match my energy. The moon is out of this world like my personality. It's blasphemy to think I'm not a star from another galaxy. Actually, I'm poetry with a heartbeat. I am me. A paycheck before tax, because I know my worth. And my presence will always be priceless. That's just facts. I am walks in the park during the sunset. My potential's not done yet. Constantly constructing my career. I am the tool set. And I'm not negative rumors that others create, because I choose not to make them my soulmate. Instead of them understanding my hindsight of a failed relationship between us, they just hate. But nonetheless, I don't steal hearts, that's theft. I always have my own assets. You can never put everything I own in the box to the left. Even Beyonce, no, I'm irreplaceable. That's not mistakeable.
You better say it.
And I'm a Rubik's Cube of emotion. The colors never align together, which causes commotion. But lies up the lane. I would rather run in the winter to be a summer walker constantly playing games. Either way, I'm still me. Always searching for new ways to inspire society through my integrity. My positivity is a necessity. I'm just spreading a medley of love poems like my favorite poet, Rudy. Francisco, that is. Because the heart and fist present scars from the monsters that exist. Hide and seek won't stop a lopsided streak. I use my words as a rifle, the mission is cycle. I will never be a chameleon for these complainers, because living to please society is frightful. And my accomplishments gives me an adrenaline rush. Like the chai latte from the girl who has me starstruck at Starbucks. And her happiness is high, like helium, because there's no gravity in its capacity. A lot like you, I do have things I go through. I am speechless. I am inspired. I am the pen that will never be expired. That's because I will always be an artist. Thank you.
I want you inside of these arms. Dying to taste you, I can't deny. I can't get it out of my mind. Please let me hold you. 'Cause I need your loving tonight. Whenever I'm near you, my love just comes down. Whenever I see you, I just want you around. 'Cause I wanna feel you all through the day and the night. Whenever I'm near you, it feels like bedtime. Constantly thinking of things to do, places where we can make love, 'cause I wanna be you. I love you wherever you want, placing my kisses all over you, caressing you so nice and slow. Oh, how I want you. Girl, there's something I want you to know whenever I'm there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My love just comes down. Oh, my love, whenever I see you, I just want you around, 'cause I wanna feel you all through the day and the night, baby. Whenever I'm near you, it feels like bedtime.
Got it? Okay. This poem I wrote, I was like watching the lake. Okay, so this is the only poem I have on my phone. I'm gonna get better. Okay, so this poem is titled Geneva's Birds. I wonder why the white birds flock toward the middle of the lake, but not near me. Do they know I want to cut off my arms and attach their wings to my arms? I will sing to the sky, oh, how it feels to be free. I will fly oh so mighty high and skip from cloud to cloud where blood trails are allowed. And we're now on cloud 22. I'm so high I begin to poke holes in the sky. As blood rains down from the cloud's eyes into the lake's tides, I wonder, how could it be that a little white bird can stay so white? As the rest of me sinks into the bottom of the lake, thoroughly drenched in soap, I take in the whole scope tied to the rope, because they're happy to see me go. My blood keeps them afloat. As parts of me sink, I know I'll feel at home, because for decades, water has been a place where my ancestors can grow. The lake is now perfectly layered, red, white, and blue, which stands for our nation's three truths. Red, kill anything black. White, the pure should remain pure. Blue, justice will never be served. I would like to think that sounds absurd, but haven't you heard? A bird's eye is supposed to splurge and take food back to its herd. The next wettest thing other than the blood in the sky is a bird's eye. But how is its vision so dry?
Run that back.
Oh, the wettest thing, other than the blood in the sky, is a bird's eye. But how is its vision so dry? I don't think they care too much about the black demise, so of course I see them doing backflips in the sky, on their way to vacation, in even a drier land where the floor is like sand. As the chirping of the white birds and the chirping of the white birds encourages plan, red, white, and blue, our nation's three truths, always stay true to a nation that enables you. The stench of my blood calms their fragility, the stain on their delicate feathers would hold them oh so accountable. And the taste, oh so savory, does not allow their dreams to evaporate with no trace to follow. But that's just too much for one bird to swallow, so they flock together and brainwash one another with certainty on the uncertainty, the black bird. So we toughen up. Sad enough, those white birds will get tired of flying over us, zooming in on us, and they'll need a place to rest. And God knows that will not be on my chest. Soon, the lake will be dry, and all parts of me will be alive. No more blood will be left dry. Oh, how I thought I could fly. But where will I go when all the white birds take up all the space in the sky? Someday they will rest, and I think that's what's best. But wait, what about the next white bird's nest? full of babies that do nothing but poke out their chest. Oh, I hope I'm right about with what's next. Let this generation spread their wings and put the rest of the world to the test. Who will withdraw next? Oh, how it feels to be free. I wonder if that's up next. Oh, how it feels. Thank you.
I told you her energy was vibrant like her scarf. Everybody give it up for my team. C say everybody.
And stop, never hitting rock bottom. Not a sexual encounter, but I like being on top. The bottom's for suckers, I'll just confess it like Usher. I got heart, hell of a hustler. Because I live in this town, I won't conform to the ways. Reality's televised, there's no ducking the strays. When those bullets are fired, they need targets to stop. I hate all fucking violence, and I don't deal with cops. Mind my own business, my parents taught me that trick. Permanent jet lag, the mind finances the trips. I'm so fly, these wings might trade in my hands. I keep a good watch of different flavors of bands. I love different bands, your boy works is eclectic. Commodores and the Beatles are just a few I suggested. My reality science involving acoustics. It adheres in my mind like I rubbed on a glue stick. I'm Chuck Taylor Swift, words has his own ego. Always ready for a poetry battle, we can shoot it like a free throw. Houston, we got a problem, it's words I'm in the building. Y'all know I broke my book, raw skills I'm revealing. Spitting 4 long fires, burns a 3rd degree. I'd like for y'all to meet the love of my life, her name is Poetry.
Blue-fi, kids are dancing and shuffling, but I don't have a buck to give, no more or less. I give what has been taken. Next stop, 2/5, and everything is depleted. All right, so I took the challenge random, and I recited a poem. So now I'm gonna read something from Tidal Wave.
Can you tell us what Tidal Wave is?
All right, so Tidal Wave, nice segue, right? So Tidal Wave, this is a chapbook that I wrote about 3 or 4 years ago. I was fortunate to have this published, sold a good amount of poems and chapbooks. So this is like my introduction into the poetry world. So I'm looking for a poem that's gonna sing, but also cause a little chaos as well.
Nice.
All hail the city of doom. Downtown, we bypass ditches, potholes, engrave the slender terrace. Clench, stenches of grinded coffee, white boys and girls squander forefathers' commandments. Construction workers squat aimlessly on dainty street curbs, laughing. Bay Street pimps hustle work, selling perpetual sins. We condemn and flood corners. We are all living in our last days. The unholy man rattles his cup, exposes hardships to privilege, drunk or not. North Shore, police officers unlawfully stop and frisk, bash skulls, unruly clergymen, push dope, strike, their wives lie and cover it up. All hail the city of doom, an island constructed for not us, but chokeouts, in the greater America that doesn't include us. Thank you.
I have kind of a longer one today. I actually wrote this specifically for this event. These are things that have been heavy on my mind, especially with the political state in this country. So, this is Soil and its metered control. Give them worldly vessels for their souls, or the people will rise in the night to retrieve their bounty. Architecture or revolution was never a warning, rather a promise of action from those who are curious enough to peer through the ivy-laden cracks in God's panopticonal mind. Rights to self-determination jeer at us scornfully, observing from the highest tower, and here we come pounding at the door. Mangy little thieves howling in the face of opulence. To move freely is to serve power's true names, to pray into poisoned soil and rejoiced in its metered control. These scabs are watching the crowds now, eyes fixed, hands gripping their guns tight in anticipation, chains fastened to their king's belt. Forced and enforcing upon, jumping dogs lap at the ankles of anyone who dares to lay more than a longing gaze upon pillars of ivory towers, illuminated windows, blinded by and drawn to safety's insipid glow. Below thunders a ceaseless hammering. 13 beats, 13 cracks through the air, 2 fits of every scab's bullish voice will dissolve into the echoes, coating every gilded hallway, yet the scabs stand poised behind the door to protect the illusion of mechanical living. For at least these walls promise to hold them, enveloped in shiny, crumbling mirages, glamours poisoning every drinking well, walls of their sleeping quarters lined with 800,000 human skins, and yet amidst so much death, remain closer to proclaimed salvation than we thieves will ever be avoided in life. In time, we'll retreat, heads hung, while fields of love grow menacingly, branches creeping past all forces, to edge onto the tower's barred windows, and someday, many years from now, us thieves will grow curious enough to approach the towers again, and we'll realize that the door to the gun room threatens God with the same thorns that cover the walls of our own homes. Y'all want another one?
Yes!
Okay.
You're captivating.
So this one's called I Love in a Way That Carries. Very different vibe. I love in a way that carries, that takes little pride in itself, but knows its duty as blind obligation. A great burden dragging behind across desolate fields. The grains of love are hopeless too, sown in white men's image. Without regard for care or reparation, reciprocity is an absent caregiver, prowling in elusive closeness, while I, for others, embrace without thought. Without regard for rocks held by strings stirring dust behind me, yet I cave in as they approach, gaping voids in my chest familiar, for the ones I listen to this closely are always adding to me. So instead, I'll love in a way that uplifts next time.
Thank you all for being out here tonight. There's, again, I think Randum said it, there's an energetic reciprocity that happens between the artists on the stage and those who are in the audience. I'm going to try my best to honor the presence of you all here tonight. I kind of want to do 2, but I'm going to try to do 1. I'm going to try to do 1.
You know the people don't want to.
Yeah,
Right, you're going to put it out there.
We'll see. All right, so it's Black History Month, right? And there's a lot of things that are going on in the world. There's a lot of things that kind of revisit themselves in the sense that, as things change, things stay the same. Hopefully throughout the discussion today, we'll hit on some of those topics. I have a poem that might be related, might not, who knows, Sometimes I write on topic and then I veer off into somewhere else. But hopefully this resonates with some of y'all. The poem's called Dreams. It's an oldie. Maybe it's a goodie. I think it's good. So let's get into it. Well, I think the beast has been missing. But all of us have been misleading ourselves into Crayola-colored denominations, hyphenated states into a nation in which our presence has gone from necessity to novelty, and now our existence persists upon the borders of citizen and resident alien. We've been alienated since our arrival, but we can't afford a return flight. We can't give praises to Martin and get on boats with Garvey at the same time, because this right here is our fight. And it don't take no team of political analysts to tell me that the shit that's been going on couldn't have been an accident. You see, it's been repeating itself for so damn long, and it's nothing less than redundant. This is why I believe. You see, I believe that it was seen in Martin's dreams that we were always going to have these hard times ahead. But it looks like since the Civil Rights Act and affirmative action, we done got too bougie instead to make revolutions anymore. We've got more problems than we got solutions. We can't feed the whole nation, yet we still got billions for war. Maybe they got everything that we've been fighting for. That Douglas, Randolph King, and Shabazz lived their lives for. Justice, equality, and a little bit of peace. But of all of those things, I ain't seen the least. Instead, I think we've gotten empty legislatures that get overridden by special interest policies, fiscally advantageous projects that keep folks locked up in projects. And I'm telling you, these experiments, they ain't done yet. That's why still lacking out justice, and we're still searching for peace. And there is no equality when 13% of the population is 44% of the prisons, and over 50% of those contracting immunodeficiencies. You see, the disparity in American life is what punctuates this. The No Child Left Behind Act is what perpetuates this. So if war is necessary in order for us to maintain this peace, then maybe we need to start actively fighting against that shit. And this is why I get on poetic pulpits. And I'm going to continue to spit this in the hope we can one day find true peace. And once we do, we must bind it, inscribe it, and write our names upon it and make it our own. Because a peace that is taken for granted can soon be gone. We have got to move on. We have got to get strong. Because we are the children of ancestors that sweat blood with broken backs that built this nation. And they were always looking forward toward a future that was full of the hope that our present should have brought us, but we have squandered our gifts. We've been so busy leaning and rocking and those at home raising our children, and at that point, the system wins, and we all gonna get done in if we don't learn to, yearn to change our mental conditions.
Syracuse.com.
Yes, they were.
And they were used in the performance Planted Not Buried. And so I wasn't asking him just to buy me a bouquet, I used them to represent how a person tried to strip my petals away. But I kept the bouquet intact, and now it's on my dining room table. So thank you very much. I knew not to, I tear more. What's up? So I'm Cheeki. Cheeki Williams to be exact. I moved here to escape domestic violence, and Syracuse has become my home. I teach actively for the district, I teach for Red House, and I teach here at Community Folk Arts Center. I teach all 3 jobs multiple times a week, and that is how I give back. My daughter is here, and it's her first time in the audience. You wouldn't tell, it's her first time in the audience, and her name is Eden. I moved here to save her and our lives. Our exhibit is currently on display in the gallery right now, and I'm holding her while in the shelter in the Bronx, the shelter that I moved at before God told me to come to Syracuse. I wish I could be up here longer, but I won't. Do I do insight as a call to action or Planted Not Buried first? Insight. Awaken, searching for some insight. I promise that I'm trying to love real hard, but love don't act right. And really trying to treat me like I'm all up in my feels of shit, don't, or let love live and let live, give, do right, don't lie and be light. I'm awake and searching for some insight. Look before you touch. Be out or let love live and let live, give, do right, don't lie, be light. I'm awake and searching for some insight, man. I'm just spitting real shit. An oracle of my own time. I feel it all and I don't feel shit. I tried to make a mountain out of you, but you're more into molehill shit. Just let me heal it. That pain in your chest, baby, trying to act like you don't know the impact and me feel it. Got a hole in your heart. All I want to do is fill it. Dirt out, love in, shirt off, clothes then to the Louis and sheets. I can feel your core melting. I'm trying to read books more and mine's less. Self-love, self-care, self-hate, deflect. I'm trying to be the man in the mirror of your mind's reflect. Don't fight what you feel and shield your eyes from my son. Can you see yet? Look before you touch. Live and let live, give, do right, don't lie and be light. I'm awake and searching for some insight. I said look before you touch. Be out or let love live and let live, give, do right, don't lie, be light. I'm awake and searching for some insight. Earned the words. I have my bachelor's degree in journalism. I earned the words. Okay. So I can cuss now. She cannot. We don't cuss at home. My mother is also in the audience, and I normally don't. But I've earned the words. I'm grown, real grown now. And I'm grown, Ma. You know what I'm saying? So here we are. But there's 3 generations here, which is only God. Like literally, it's only God. My daughter, the woman that raised me and made me, and now I'm her on stage. I've watched my mother all my life preach, all my life. So even the custom part is colorful. Thank you, Mom, for being fluid. It's Brooklyn, though. She get it. You already know, bro. You already know. So this is called Planted Not Buried. I wrote this after the person I procreated with, who I thought we were going to get married, who wanted very badly to have my daughter, Eden, which is the first and only flower in my garden.
Yes.
So, you know I felt you with the names, right? Eden, it's planted, not buried. So this is called planted, not buried. Eden is the first flower in my garden. I moved here to save her life. It was very interesting because apparently my life wasn't important enough at the time. Once I had her, I couldn't make her a human punching bag, and I couldn't make her a human shield. And I knew she was gonna be a shield. She knew at 6 months something was up. You're damn crazy, girl. And she knew something was up. I didn't even know enough to know, but I got her out of there. He slapped me so hard, somebody called the police. I've never called the police on him. He slapped me so hard that the sound reverberated through, in between the buildings in the Bronx. And that is when I went into the shelter, and that is when I wrote Planted Not Buried, which I turned into a song, which I turned into a mission to come here. So it's called Planted Not Buried.
I'm not buried, I'm planted. I'm solid, I'm rock, yo, it's not easy to grow. You tried to burn up my crop. You stole a lot from my harvest. Somehow I still got some heart left. I'm not buried, I'm planted. Look at these flowers I got. I'm not buried, I'm planted. I'm solid, I'm rock. It's not easy to grow. You tried to burn up my crop. You stole a lot from my harvest. Somehow I still got some heart left. I'm not buried, I'm planted. Look at these flowers I got. You threw a lot of dirt. It hurts my soul in retrospect. I tried to water you and show you love. You said you'd never get. I tried to ask the sun to shine his rays on your dark energy. I should have known the storm inside your heart. Gardener, even let you plant a seed, and now you barely tend to her. I shook and I bent, almost broke. You made me bend for you. I'm picking up my petals. Growing process is still pending. Some people say I shouldn't speak about the shit you did to me. How you fucked me up, you hurt my spirit, then you physically. How I never thought your mommy issues would play out on me, you dig it. Then you shit it on the roots of our new family. It makes me sick to my stomach how you turned on me. You raised your voice and then your fist, but not your frequency. I would have caught a body just to make sure I protect our love, but once you said I should be dead, I knew it was the end of us. I'm not buried, I'm planted. I'm solid, I'm rock. It's not easy to grow. You tried to burn up my crop. You stole a lot from my harvest. Somehow I still got some heart left. I'm not buried, I'm planted. Look at these flowers I got. I'm not buried. I am planted. I am solid. I am rock. It's not easy to grow. They tried to burn up our crops. They stole a lot from our harvest. Somehow we still got some heart left. I'm not buried. I'm not planted. We're not buried. We are planted. We're solid. We're rock. It's not easy to grow. They tried to burn up our crops. They stole a lot from our harvest. Somehow we still got some heart left. We're not buried. We're planted. Look at these flowers we got.
And stuff like that. So I think my first experience is seeing my parents sacrifice for me. And I owe everything to them.
So my experiences with black labor began in grade school, watching my friends have to explain their existence, let alone why they deserve to be in the rooms that they were in. So that definitely kind of set the tone for understanding of blackness. I'm not black myself, I gotta say, but I hold a lot of people close to me who are. Current experiences of black labor, I teach at La Casita. I'm an instructor over there. And so there are a lot of young people in that program who are mixed, Afro-Latine, and I see the way that they have to carry so much. The poem I read today, I Love in a Way That Carries, is inspired by them in a lot of ways. There's one particular 12-year-old who cried to me a couple weeks ago that she has to take care of 5 siblings at home. She's 12. And that was the first time she'd ever cried in front of any of us. And I could see the way that her labor at such a young age was imprinting upon her that she had to carry for the rest of her life. And so I see it every day there, especially, yeah.
Yeah, this is it's an interesting question, and I remember we got the question ahead of time, so we could prepare. But honestly, this is probably the most difficult question because there's so many ways to look at it. So I'm a college professor, all that stuff, and one of the things that I noticed on my path to getting to this thing that I'm still happy to do, I think, no, I love my job, is that I realized that black labor, or the discontinuity of black labor in the modern era, so like I would say like the last 2 to 3 generations, every generation more often than not is starting from zero. And so the hard work always starts all over again. So I'm the first in my family to have the level of education that I had. And my seed are right over there. So I'm trying like, hey, what I have, I need you to use some of it so that you're not starting from zero. Because I've heard, you know, quote unquote elders, and I'm using that term loosely in this case, basically say they gotta figure it out because I ain't got nothing to leave. You know, but that's not our job. You know, and I think culturally speaking, black labor in this country is like the bedrock of everything to some extent. And that's not to say that no one else has, you know, a claim to being a foundational part of the country, but black labor is that shadow of everything that we tend to experience here, a lot of the positive stuff. And so for me, black labor is kind of like the foundation of everything, but also when it comes to black and brown folks being able to capitalize on black labor, we're the last ones to capitalize on it. So it's like, wow, everybody, like you guys got stoplights and refrigeration, and I can't afford a place to live. You know, I got a 4-year degree and I don't have a house down payment, right? You know, because a lot of that comes from your family. That's a generational thing. Like, I sit there in grad school and folks would literally be like, yeah, you know, my parents, you know, they put a down payment on my place, and I'm like, word, I live in the projects, right? I was in Nashville, Tennessee, in the projects in grad school because that's what I could afford. Luckily, that wasn't my first time, so it was all good. But
It was nice too.
exactly, you know, I painted it and everything. I was like, it's all good. Like, oh, something happened in the other building?
Projects
Ain't my problem.
cheap.
You know, now it's not cheap though. They done knocked down a couple walls, painted it all gray, and now it's like, oh, this is modern mid-century modern.
Yeah.
I will say that my existence is black labor.
Say that.
Why you have to do that?
Yo, right now,
That's why I don't think about the questions. I don't think about them ahead of time. My existence as a brown-skinned black woman is labor. My existence as a black woman is labor. Any person that I stood up for.
It had hip hop for me. So I did an interview probably 2 weeks ago with Channel 9 News, and I think that was the same answer that I gave. It was definitely hip hop. I remember when I was about like 7 years old, my brother's probably about 15 years older than me. He would have all these small cassettes of hip hop artists, Ice Cube, Biggie Smalls, Wu-Tang, and my parents would never want me to listen to them, so I would kind of like sneak in and listen to them. So like I think poetry started for me with hip hop, and then it gradually got to the point where I started studying form. So I started studying people like poets like Langston Hughes, Gwendolyn Brooks, Nikki Giovanni, Amiri Baraka. So it's developed over time, but it's always poetry and it's always hip hop for me as well.
Love that, man. Poetry provokes everybody.
What it is, and you gotta feel it, right? Because if you're not into it, it's kind of hard to understand the concept of these tiny little things doing things. And when I was able to do that as a artist, I was like, yeah, I'm there now. And that's what it is for me, is to take the things that people aren't ready to receive and make you receive it. You know, make you want it, right? You know, it's like I'm always trying to get you in the amen corner. And as soon as I see a head, and I was like, all right, I'm good. Like, I cannot have it right now. So that's it for me.
He is a very good speaker. My mom is a minister and a reverend. And hymns, reading hymns, how they resonated, but they were so simple. Just the hymns that shaped my life played a role in me even making words rhyme, but that had impact. And so I will say that seeing my dad in the pulpit and annotating the things that he would write down to use them as mantras throughout the week, or having my mom's one-liners helped pretty much save my life. That was my first introduction to poetry.
As y'all can see, I'm with the crowd now, so I only got one other question. I'm gonna bring it out here so we get some questions.
What I've been studying for quite some time. So whenever I'm on stage and I feel like I have a poem to present, then I try to enter that vehicle. So it's technical components, right? Let's say if we're working on, let's say a sonnet or a haiku, that's something that I've studied for quite some time, right? So now when I'm doing spoken word or I'm presenting a poem, I'm looking for rhythm, I'm looking for balance as well, right? I'm looking for form to kind of lead me into that spoken word performance as well.
This is a difficult question because I've only performed my poetry. I really resonate with what you said about like the form that words take and the cadence and the rhythm, and I mean inherently poetry is sonic. It like resonates within you as the listener, as the room, as the poet. I think that writing is a lot more. It's a lot more kind of technical, and then when you go into speaking, that's where the catharsis really comes for me. Sometimes when I'm writing, I'll read things back to myself aloud. So in that sense, it's kind of a reciprocal relationship, making sure that it sounds nice and it resonates nicely within the form of the thing. I'm also an architectural designer, so I think about the form of the thing a lot, kind of how you're painting that world, that picture. And I think that performing, you can really enhance it with your tone, with your cadence, with the way that you kind of pace things. It really just animates. It completely animates what's on the page. That's what I find.
Great answer, great answer.
So, yeah, like again, the idea of putting things on paper in a way, it terrified me for a long time because I felt like, oh, when it's on the paper, that's it. And if it's not right when I do it the first time, I don't know what I'm doing. And again, as I do this other parallel thing that most people don't consider art, I realized through science, it sounds weird that the first draft is never the final draft. And I still, honestly, I will be real about it. It's like my poetry on paper is not my poetry. That's the starting place. My poetry personally lives in my head. And as I spit, as I recite, that's when it starts to become the thing that it needs to be. And again, because of the energy exchange with the audience, I realized, like, you know what, that didn't hit. Like, no, I didn't have anybody in my amen corner. Something wasn't right. And so I will edit in the middle of a performance. You know, like I've done shows at churches, and I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm supposed to say, and I won't say it, or I'll say it in such a way that it can be received appropriately for the audience, because communication is about you getting the point, not about me saying what I want to say. So, and so if I write, and it's like, well, this is how I felt, it's like, yeah, but is that the point? Is it your feelings, or is it communicating thought? And as a parent, it actually became even more of a thing where it's like sometimes I want to go off, and it's like, but you want your child to get the lesson. So you can go all the way the heck off, or you can make sure they get the lesson. And those two things aren't always the same. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird metamorphosis, like the page becomes this thing. There's this movie back in, I think the 90s, Page Master or something. So it's like that, like everything that's in the book becomes something else. And in art, it becomes a living thing. And so that's what my art kind of feels like to me.
Beats as writing prompts to see if I could still write, only to realize I could still write and then perform it as poetry. Writing it on the page is how I spell it. Performing it is how I manifest it. Spelling is a spell. Everything you write is a spell. Everything you text is a spell. Everything that comes out of your mouth that is a word is a spell. And whether or not I believe in God heavily, but I understand intrinsically and universally that certain things have a universal feeling to it. So when I'm writing it down, just as it's written in the Bible, when I'm writing it down, I'm spelling it. When I'm performing it, it's giving it life. When I said I'm planted, not buried, I was writing it down. I was spelling it at the time. I was not here. I was in a shelter, in a domestic violence shelter, on a couch that was ripped while my baby was in the room. And I was writing planted, not buried. Once I got here, I performed planted, not buried. And that is how the spell became a manifestation and an active reason to live and manifest a better life with God's help. Couldn't have done it without God, but I take responsibility for the words that I spell. I take responsibility for how I formulate words. That's why I try to be concise as possible, because spelling is a spell. So I write it on the page and I spell it. And when I perform it, it's manifesting itself.
Can we give it up for the poetic pen?